everyone. I hope you're doing great. Happy Monday. Hope you're safe, hope you're healthy, and today we are going to talk about hidden sodium foods. So first thing I want to know, whether you're live or whether you're watching the replay, go ahead and type into the comment section, is sodium something that you look at when you eat food? When you pick when you pick something up, do you look at the label and concern yourself at all with sodium? I'm really curious. I would love to know if you, in fact, look at sodium in the food you eat. We're going to talk today about 10 foods that sort of have hidden sodium. These are the 10 foods that my clients often say the most, oh my God, I had no idea there was that much sodium in that food. So that's what we're going to talk about today. In case you missed it, the new Earn That Body podcast episode is up. It's about a relationship that I hope you don't ignore, and you're going to have to check out the podcast episode to know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to tell you right now, the relationship that I talk about is not the one with your spouse, is not the one with your partner, and it's not about, oh, I love myself kind of relationship. But it is a relationship that will definitely impact your health. So definitely check out the podcast this week. Now, we do have the Body Zone Challenge starting next week. I'm so excited. It has some fantastic videos, anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes almost every single day. You're going to get a workout for a different body zone. It is a great 21-day challenge. If you have not signed up for it yet, the price has now gone up. So the early bird price is over, but if you hang on till the end of this broadcast today, I will go ahead and offer you a little prize and get you a discount, all right? So hold on till the end if you haven't registered yet. And if you already have registered, you paid the lowest price there is, so no worries on that one. 10 super high sodium foods. Let's get right in. There you can see my sign there. Let's get right in and talk about what they are. The first high sodium food that I tell everybody always to avoid, I mean literally avoid soup at all costs unless you make it yourself. Soup. Whether it's the canned kind or something you're going to get in a restaurant, I would say I never ever eat soup. It's probably one of the only foods I can say almost never on, unless it's a homemade soup, because then you're going to have a lot less sodium on it. So be really cautious. Soups are so high in sodium, and you might even be asking yourself, well, why do I have to worry about sodium? Well, I'm just going to tell you right now, if you're trying to lose any weight and you have one high sodium meal, you can be up 1 to 3 pounds the next day. And so you might think your weight loss program isn't working for you, and then you quit. And it's a number one reason that people quit losing weight is because they're not seeing the number on the scale change. Well, sodium in your food can change your weight 1 to 3 pounds, but it's water weight. But it's also something you want to be careful of because we don't want super high sodium in our diet daily. I did an ETB live on sodium in the past. You can check that out on Facebook to talk about the different reasons why you want to watch your sodium. But soup, I pretty much never order it. Never order it in a restaurant. I actually think I can say I never order it in a restaurant. And we have some soup in the cabinet for like when you're sick. That's about the only time I would ever have soup. The next high sodium food that has so much sodium is your tomato sauces. So whether it's a jarred tomato like a marinara sauce or even literally tomato sauce in a can, super high sodium. In the newsletter last month that I did for Earn That Body, I actually put in a recipe where I make my own tomato sauce now, and it had a pinch of salt in it. A pinch versus the 230 milligrams that are in this one for half a cup. That's actually on the low side. This is actually a fairly good one. It's organic from Whole Foods, but it's called Organico Bello. But again, you just have to be so careful because as soon as you have anything with tomato sauce, that could be a lasagna, a pasta, all of a sudden the sodium goes sky high, and it's because of the tomato sauce. Super high in sodium, something that you definitely want to just be cautious of. I'm not telling you to avoid it. I'm telling you need to be cautious if you don't want that scale to go sky high from water retention the next day. The next one, canned anything. Anything in a can has so much sodium because it's one of the ways they preserve everything. So here's just some garbanzo beans, so high in sodium. Things like green chilies that sometimes you might be throwing in the Mexican food you're making, so high in sodium. anything in a can is gonna have high sodium. Does it mean you can't eat it? No, it means just look at how much sodium there is and make sure it's gonna be worth it for you, or really watch all your sodium during the day so that if you know you're gonna have a high sodium meal at night, it doesn't push the sodium too high. And you might be wondering, well, how much sodium should I have in a day? 2,300 milligrams a day is a max that you should have, unless you're over 55 years old, in which case you want your sodium to be under 1,500 milligrams. Well, if you were to look at some of the amount of sodium in these jars and in these cans, it'll put you over 2,300 in like a cup. So you have to be cautious. It's something you want to watch out for. Cottage cheese is the next one. This is probably one of the most hidden ones that my clients find out very quickly in their day. Why is my sodium so high? It's off the charts. It's over 2,600. You said 2,300. What did I eat? Almost always, if I see cottage cheese on the food log, I know that their sodium will likely be over. Cottage cheese is so high in sodium. I don't eat it because to me, that's not where it's worth it for me. I'd rather eat something else. So I don't eat cottage cheese for that reason, because of the sodium factor. Again, check the label. It's just that it has a lot of sodium, not telling you not to have it, but you'd want to watch sodium intake during the rest of the day. What about this one? This one's something that a lot of people don't expect. Tortillas. They have a lot of sodium. You want to just check the label because some brands are going to have more than others. So one really good thing to do, I eat tortillas, but I try to look for the brands that don't have as much sodium. Now this particular one, Mi Rancho, is an organic flour tortilla, and it has 370 milligrams of sodium in one tortilla. That's a lot. That's not even, this isn't even your meal. This is just the tortilla, right? I didn't buy these. My husband bought these. Just saying. Okay, then we have the wheat and corn flour tortillas. These are from Trader Joe's, and they have 140 milligrams of sodium in them. That's almost half of this one. So it's something to think about. When you have a tortilla, just look at the label and try to find some brands that have a lower milligram of sodium, because some of them, again, are even higher than this, and that's not even the whole meal. It's just the tortilla. So be very cautious. So a lot of breads as well can have very high sodium. So start looking at how much sodium are in the brands that you are eating. What's next? Deli meat. Loaded in sodium. Loaded. And you probably think, well, I'm only using 2 little slices. I don't even have any deli meat in the house right now. We just don't eat it anymore because it's really not that healthy for you. So you gotta read the label. Always make sure it's organic. It's just, deli meats are not super healthy, but there are some brands that have less sodium than others. So again, just check it out. But I think you'll find that the sodium's off the charts. Again, it's something that when my clients say, what did I eat? My sodium was 3,000 milligrams a day, and they have like a lot of deli meat in there. That's something you probably want to avoid or limit as much as you can. The next one, salad dressings. A lot of people think they're doing a great job having a salad when they go out to eat, but it's the sodium in the dressing that is going to make it sky high on total sodium. Now I have a bunch of different brands here. Here's Brianna's Honey Dijon. I have Italian Organic from Whole Foods, and I have another Brianna's. I like the Brianna's. But 2 tablespoons is technically a serving on all of these different dressings, on these particular ones. 2 tablespoons for this Brianna's has 310 milligrams of sodium. Do you only use 2 tablespoons? Likely you use more. And so this could be over 600 milligrams of sodium in your salad or more. Would you believe so many of the salads out there? When I did the podcast the other week about what you should or should not order when you eat out at some franchise restaurants, a lot of the sodium levels in the dressings were over 1,000 milligrams in the salad alone. And if you're only supposed to have 2,300 milligrams of sodium and there's 1,000 milligrams in your sodium, I mean, you have to be very careful the rest of the day. So this one from Whole Foods is 220 milligrams of sodium per 2 tablespoons. But again, you know what a tablespoon looks like. It's kind of small. So are you actually measuring out your salad dressing. I'm not telling you not to use salad dressing. These are all salad dressings I've used. But you just have to look at the label and measure and be cautious of the fact that there is a lot of sodium in almost all salad dressings. So something to be cautious of. The next one is vegetable juice. I don't see this on food logs very often, but every now and then I do. People are still drinking like a V8 type juice or having a Bloody Mary, which pretty much has a tomato juice in it. Most vegetable juices, I mean, everyone that I know of, so high in sodium. Not worth it at all. Don't have V8 juice, okay? It is not worth it. There's not enough anything in a vegetable juice like that to be worth how much sodium it has. You're better off having fresh vegetables, but watch out for the vegetable juice. What about anything from a restaurant? Sadly, anything from a restaurant is going to be high in sodium. So you have to be very cautious when you eat out. Not only are the calories a lot bigger because they give much bigger servings, but they're going to load it in sodium. So I always tell my clients, if we're going to weigh in on Monday and you're going to go to Mexican food on Sunday night, please expect that your weight will be up 1 to 2 pounds. I have gone out to a place called Maudie's here in Austin. I have been up 3 pounds the next day. And it's not because I gained weight. It's all water weight. And it also has to do with how sensitive you are to sodium. I don't eat a lot of sodium anymore, so I'm very sensitive. So if I go to Mexican food, I could be up 3 pounds the next day. Doesn't freak me out. I don't care. It's water weight. It's going to come right off. But it's something I don't do very often because sodium is not super healthy for you. And I don't like that feeling of being 3 pounds up of water weight. So just be very cautious. Any restaurant you go to will have a lot of sodium. Some restaurants you can ask, can you please make this with less sodium? That's always a great idea if that is an option. The number 10 thing that you want to avoid if you're trying to watch your sodium, pickles, just forget it. Susan, I'm glad you're online. I know they're your favorite, but you gotta watch your pickles. Pickles are so high in sodium. I tell people they're little sodium bombs. There's no real nutrition in a pickle. Forget it, don't have it, or really limit it. Beef jerky, totally processed. Anything totally processed is going to have so much sodium. Pretzels, I mean, they're loaded with the salt right on it. There's no fuel or healthy fat in a pretzel. Hot dogs as well, the processed meats, all of those full of sodium. Number 10, I don't really eat any of those. I don't want to have all that extra sodium. That's not the way I want to get my sodium in, at least. If I'm going to splurge on something, it's not going to be on something like that. Bonus, I'm going to give you number 11. Are you ready for the bonus? So these boxed meals, get out of your way from my title here, these boxed meals, these HelloFresh kind of meals that everybody's getting, I know it makes life a lot easier. Apparently it shows up in a box. I've never done it, and all the food is there and the recipe is there, and it really does make it easy. I totally get that, but I just want to let you know, of all the ones that I've seen so far come in on all the food logs, which is like every brand of HelloFresh and all of them, sorry HelloFresh that I'm picking on you, but all of those box brands are very high in sodium. That's what I've seen. Some don't even list the sodium in their nutrition, and that's bad altogether. You want to know how much sodium you're taking in a meal. If you have to do these kind of boxed, pre-made meals, just limit it and just know that they're very high sodium, so you want to watch the sodium throughout the rest of the day. That's the best thing you can do. If you know you're going to have a high sodium meal, just watch and limit the sodium the rest of the day so that it's just not high at every single meal there is. But you actually do have to watch these boxed pre-made meals. Sorry, it's just that, you know, there's no freebie out there. It doesn't work like that. Nothing good comes easy, right? So yes, it's easier to make these pre-boxed meals and they make it nice and simple for you, but it's kind of like eating out. They have a lot of sodium in them. My guess is to help preserve it with all the shipping and, you know, sitting around in a warehouse potentially. So something you should know. All right, how about this? I can barely see what it says. You don't have to worry about sodium intake if you don't have high blood pressure. If you're live or if you're on the replay, answer that for me. True or false? Do you have to worry about sodium intake if you don't have high blood pressure? I get this all the time. People are like, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have high blood pressure. What do you think? Go ahead and type it in. I want to see what your answers are. And just so you know, false. You do have to worry about your sodium. Great job, Shanna. False. I've taught you well. You do have to watch your sodium. As I said, I did an ETB live already on sodium, and I talked about why we watch our sodium, how much should your sodium be, what the health effects of sodium are. So if you missed it, go back in my Earn That Body Facebook page, scroll down and find the sodium episode that I did. Sodium isn't healthy. If you look at some of the things that they talk about when they talk about your health, high sodium is something that is a greater impact than most people realize. And this is why you really want to be cautious of these fad diets. Fad diets aren't focusing on what's healthy. They're focusing on how can you drop weight super fast, and they don't care if it's done in an unhealthy way. In a fad diet, they don't generally educate you on anything. They just tell you to cut the calories way down or cut nutrients like carbs out, and they just want to see this fast weight loss. But you need to be educated, and you want to lose weight in a healthy way, because when you lose 1 to 2 pounds a week in a slow method like that, that's the healthiest way you can lose weight. That's when it becomes sustainable. That's sustainable weight loss. You can do that. And in order to do that, you need to be educated on what is healthy and what isn't healthy. And everything like this, sodium, is important in the foods you eat. So I educate my clients so much because I think that the education is what helps it stick in their brain the next time they're gonna make an unhealthy choice. They might think, that's not worth the sodium, or that's not worth how much sugar it is, or I remember Kim said that, and that's just not gonna feel good the next day. And that education is what's so important. So I hope with ETB TV, I can bring you these quick little segments and educate everybody about their health and really explain to you what kind of foods to watch out for, what kind of foods to look for, and that's everything we got today. Now, I promised you a discount on the Body Zone Challenge. If you did not register yet for the Body Zone Challenge, it starts next Monday. I'm so excited. Go ahead and email me at kim@earnthatbody.com and just let me know that you were live today on ETB TV or even on the replay. I will take it all week long. All you have to do is email me and say, I was live on ETB TV. I want the discount because I want to register for Body Zone Challenge, 21-day challenge. It's awesome. It's so much fun. I've been doing the workouts all week. All last week, I was super sore. Join it. It's a great group of people. If you're already registered, don't worry. You already paid the lowest price there is. The price has gone up, so I'm giving a discount only today, or I should say only this week, to people who watched ETB TV. So thank you guys for joining live. Susan, thanks for always joining live. Shanna as well. You're always on. Karen, thanks for joining. Vicki, great to have you live, but then if you watch the replay, still answer those questions. And as I always say, stay safe, stay healthy, and wear your mask. All right, everyone, take care. I'll see you next week for ETB TV.